A ton of the information you see online about selling on Amazon is just not true. Big shocker, right? Everyone on the internet isn't always telling the truth. So in this video, I'm going to dive into some of the biggest lies that I see circulating all over the internet about selling on Amazon. And whether these people are blatantly trying to deceive you or they just got some of the information wrong, I'll leave up to you. I'm no perfect all-knowing being of making money online myself, but when I started selling on Amazon about 6 years ago, I believed some of these lies that I'm about to break down for you guys today, and it held me back big time. So by the end of this video, you'll have a real look into what it's actually like to sell products on Amazon, and you can decide if it's the right business for you. So let's jump into misconception number one, and this is definitely something that you've seen online before. If you've done any research about selling products on Amazon, you'll see tons of so-called experts on social media and especially in the Amazon forums, which is a godforsaken place. And I just want to pull up a quick post here to show you why it's important to not listen to a lot of the experts, the anonymous people in the comment sections, that kind of stuff. And of course, we're also going to be diving into some of the lies from the big gurus out there. But let's just go ahead and start with this, right? So somebody on the seller forums asked a perfectly innocent question about selling name brand stuff on Amazon, and this person took it upon themselves to basically keep this person from making money for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure why. In this case, I think it's just people have this misconception about selling products on Amazon. And the reason why this is an issue here is because a lot of people seem to think that you need to be buying like directly from the brands themselves in order to sell something on Amazon, when that's just simply not true. So here in this post, they're saying that you have to be buying like directly from the brand. You have to be buying through authorized wholesale sources and that kind of stuff. And I can tell you after submitting documents to Amazon 100+ times that if you go in here and on your Amazon account, you can see this is where we go ahead and get ungated to sell big name brands. So here I'm not ungated in DeWalt, so I just have this pulled up as an example. You can see in here in the requirements, all we need to do is have a purchase invoice from a manufacturer, distributor, that kind of thing. And especially when it comes to authenticity and ungating, all that kind of stuff, I have used retail invoices from a tool brand like this. I'd probably be buying from Lowe's, Home Depot, that kind of thing. And that definitely falls under that distributor category. You can also see even more flexibility in what Amazon is willing to accept on their platform. In this case, if they forcing you to buy directly from the manufacturer themselves or something like this, then there'd be no reason for an Amazon invoice or order confirmation for that to be able to work for you to be able to get ungated in a certain brand. That wouldn't be an invoice directly from the distributor. They're telling you right here that, hey, if you buy products from Amazon and use that as your invoice, that's fine. And obviously that's a retail receipt just buying from Amazon themselves. And this is where I think it's just a misconception, because this person's not completely wrong. If you do go out and sell products on Amazon that brand does not want you to sell on the platform, it's well within the right to kick you out those listings, to say, hey, we don't want you on this listing. If you went out through all the effort of creating a product and getting it listed on Amazon and marketing it, probably want all those sales for yourself too. But not every brand under the sun cares. Not every brand is watching this kind of stuff. So if you're curious on which brands you would want to avoid, which ones they might be right about here, and the other ones where it's no big deal, if we go ahead and plug in a brand that is like notoriously an IP complaining brand, they don't want other resellers on their listings like Kong, you can see that there's a nice big warning here. Whereas if we check out a brand that I think we sourced a product pretty recently here on the channel, like Merle Norman's, like a cosmetics brand, not on the list. There's a bunch of sellers on all the listings. Nobody's getting kicked off, anything like that. So that's where I think the misconception comes in, especially when it comes to reading comments online and looking at the seller forums, that kind of stuff. Just take it with a grain of salt. Like a lot of this advice just is not true. I've personally met and talked to pretty often. Specifically, they're saying that retail arbitrage is not allowed, where you go out to individual retail stores, you buy stuff off the shelf, and it's just not true. I know people personally who are doing 7 and 8 figures on Amazon. They're submitting those receipts from those suppliers all the time in case anything goes wrong at Amazon, because you're eventually going to have some customers that say, hey, we think this is fake for whatever reason, and then you have to go ahead and prove to Amazon, no, we bought it from a legit retail store. We got this from Walmart. We got this from TJ Maxx, and we bought this online directly from the brand's website, whatever that is. And this also goes to say, do your own research when it comes to people on social media, especially the anonymous pages and that kind of stuff, and myself included, right? Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm sure I've said some stuff on the channel that I was wrong about back in the day, and I know I'm still wrong about some things on Amazon, but this right here, this is a big lie that keeps a lot of people from completely changing their lives. So don't let anyone tell you that ungating is impossible and all that kind of stuff. And so that brings me to the second big misconception that a lot of sellers have about Amazon. And this one I think is straight from a lot of those big gurus out there that are trying to sell you false promises that you're going to get super rich overnight, all that kind of stuff. And so I want to set the expectation that selling products on Amazon, it is a business that requires money to make money, right? Sure, you hear that all the time, but I want to show you a specific example of kind of what that looks like. I've used this example before, but I just want to quickly run through it. So let's say your revenue and buy cost boil down to something around here. This is pretty typical. For every $1 you spend on Amazon, you're probably probably turn it into about $2 in revenue. So that obviously 50% of your revenue is just covering the cost of goods sold on that. Let's say you want to do $100,000 a month, or a really big number like a lot of the gurus out there to pitch to you. That would mean that you need to spend about $50,000 a month on product. And that also assumes that literally everything goes to plan. So personally, I'd probably say you need to boost that estimate by at least 15 to 20%. Whatever's left over from that extra percent will probably sell maybe less profitably than you wanted to. Maybe it takes a couple more months than you expected it to sell. So I don't show you this to discourage you from being able to hit those big, massive goals. I had literally $1,500 to my name when I first started selling on Amazon. And this month we should do about $250,000 in revenue. We've done about $5 million in lifetime sales now. So don't let that be like, wow, I'm never going to have that kind of money, because I definitely didn't think that my Amazon business would scale to where it has gone. But I just want to set that expectation that if you're someone you're sitting in your bedroom right now, you got $500 in your checking account, you're just not going to do $1 million in sales on Amazon this year. Can you do $1 million in sales on Amazon after you continue to build that cash snowball, buying and selling plenty of products? Absolutely. Is it going to come right away overnight? No, it's not. Another big misconception that kept me broke for way longer than it should have is from a lot of the private label gurus that are out there. So if you don't know what private label is, basically it's buying a product that you think there's a gap in the market for. You slap your label on it, you source from Alibaba, maybe an American factory, that kind of thing. And it's a lot more similar to what most people probably think selling on Amazon is. You're going out, creating that product, you're making the marketing, you're creating the branding, all that kind of stuff. And it's a great way to make money on Amazon. Definitely not knocking that. I think there's a big problem with a lot of people in the Amazon space where they claim that whatever they're talking about is the best way to do everything and everybody else is an idiot. The truth is that almost anything online works, with the exception of maybe a couple things that are a scam, drop shipping on Amazon, that kind of stuff. But almost every single one of the online business models that you hear about can work. You just have to put in the effort, have that personal know-how, have the drive to be able to go out there and make it work. But a lot of the private label gurus out there to sell you the idea that you're not running a real business unless you have your own products, or you have to create your own products or you're going to get banned on Amazon tomorrow, and all kinds of fear mongering, right? But I want to show you an example of the types of products that I've been selling on Amazon for 6 years now. Let's just go ahead and jump into the computer over here. And here's just like a random example, right? So it's a name brand cosmetics company. This item right here sells about 100 times a month, 98 times a month. And then over on that brand's website directly, they're selling the same product for $30. And one of the major ways that I've been able to turn a massive profit on these name brand stuff, where a lot of people might be skipping it over, is literally just with like free coupon extensions. This is Capital One Shopping, and it showed me there's like a 15% off coupon code I've been using to buy some stuff from this website. So if I say that this is $30, I'm going to give myself that 15% off coupon code there. Every time we sell one of these items, we're going to end up making $11 in profit. I mean, obviously this sells 100 times a month, so you're not going to become a millionaire selling this type of product. But what made a lot of sense for me, especially in the early days of trying to scale my business, was instead of spending $5, $10, $15,000 create my own product and go through all the risk and hope that it ends up selling on Amazon, because even the best private label sellers out there, what they probably don't talk about super often on social media is that there's still a pretty high failure rate, even though you might already know what you're talking about, right? The manufacturers themselves can come in and undercut you if they want to in private label. When it comes to selling name brand products, people are already used to paying a premium. They're already used to whatever certain product they like to look at. And so I've built a multi-million-dollar business buying these name brand products like this right here. And I don't have to worry about someone coming in and creating a more popular product or anything like that. And if it did happen, then I'd just go figure out how to source that more popular product as cheap as something like this, where we find a coupon code, we sell it on Amazon ourselves, and we collect a little bit of chunk of that profit. And the way you're able to really scale this is by adding 1, 2, 5, 15 new products to your business every day, however long you want to source or however short you want to source. Make the business work for you, right? There's nothing wrong with making $500 a month on Amazon if that's your goal. If your goal is to make $5,000 a month on Amazon, replace the 9-to-5 income, I've seen a ton of people do that through online arbitrage, selling name brand stuff like this that people are already buying, and you just have way less overhead risk than going out and creating your own product, right? But like I was talking about, those business models where you actually go out and create your own product, I think the classic example a lot of people use is like egg beaters and stuff like that. Like you're literally just creating here's like a random, clearly just made up brand name and hoping that your product ranks #1. This is an awesome business model too. But if you're going in and you're putting thousands of dollars into something like this right away, and it might work, it might not, I really love the idea of building a cash flow business, selling these name brand stuff that we know is already going to sell super well. And then once you have a great idea for a new product that you think people will want to buy on Amazon, you can go out, you can afford the risk. If it doesn't go to plan, that's okay. You'll keep selling more name brand stuff to pay for it. If it works, awesome. Maybe that becomes your full-time thing, right? But I really just don't like how a lot of people talk about how, oh, you have to do my thing. It's the only thing that works. When the truth is that there's a lot of things that work. I just personally tend to talk about selling name brand products because that's what's worked for me. That's what's helped me escape the 9-to-5 lifestyle, all that kind of stuff. So I want to share that with you. And as you go out there and find whatever that favorite business model is for you, don't be so closed-minded that you feel like you only have to do one thing, because the truth is there's awesome profit to be made everywhere. Because that also brings me into another big misconception, and that's that selling these name brand products, they can't be a real business. You're not a real business owner until you create your own products or whatever it is. It's all kind of part of that narrative that a lot of people like to spin. But I can tell you personally that you can build a very legitimate business out of reselling products. For example, I've been able to build a team to do basically all the work for me. So every day they're finding products for me, they're managing the business, so they're getting ungated in new brands, they're checking for any account health issues, anything like that. They're also buying all the products for me, and then they're shipping those products off to prep centers, which receive the inventory. They ship it off to Amazon for me using Boxem. And then once those items show up at Amazon FBA, they're doing the rest. They're shipping it out to customers, and then the profit rolls back in. A lot of times I honestly don't even know what I'm spending my money on until I see the sales roll in. And that's just because of the team that I've been able to build over time. And so when I hear people say that you can't turn reselling or buying name brand stuff into a legit business, I just think it's really funny because I've been able to do it. I've talked to a bunch of my friends who have also been able to do it. So especially when it comes to reselling, don't make it feel like it has to be a stepping stone in your business. But I also know a lot of people who have stuck with reselling for 5-10 years, and now they've built massive businesses off of it just because they focused on one thing for so long that everyone else told them couldn't be a real business. So especially when you're able to scale an Amazon reselling business into having a team, having a lot of people help do all the work for you, it's not really going to matter to you if people tell you that you're running a legit business. What does matter is that you've got profit rolling in and that you've created the life of freedom that you deserve. So a little bit of a different type of video for you guys today. Hopefully you found this valuable. Let me know down below if you have any questions, comments, anything like that. I'm always super happy to answer those for you guys. If you don't already have tools like SellerAmp and Boxem that actually help you find the products and track your business, I'd encourage you to check those out down below. And then if you want to dive even deeper, I'll leave my 1.5-hour long free course that shows you the full step-by-step of building an Amazon reselling business. I'll leave that right here. You can go check that out. Let me know what you think. But I really appreciate you watching this video, and I will see you next time.